Hello everyone, I'm CoolGuy, welcome back, and today we're giving the Black Scorpion an in-depth review. At first, I was going to put this in my 5 minutes of frame series, but decided that since we have Shadowkeep coming, there's a real possibility that more of these scouts can come. So let's go ahead and learn about them a little bit, and after the review, I do have some gameplay if you'd like to stick around and watch it. I know a lot of you seem to enjoy that. It's a wee round of medals, 46 opponents defeated gameplay, and when that happens during the review, I will let you know when that's going to start. But back to it, today's video is about a not too often seen scout, the Veist Rapid Fire Frame Black Scorpion-4SR. The frame means that it's full auto, has deeper ammo reserves, and a slightly faster reload when the magazine is empty. I'm going to start off by saying that for whatever reason, the scout's cursed, but in a good way. I don't know what it is. In 5 games, I had 2 wee ran out of medals in a 7th column, and granted, the 7th column was with a golden gun, but regardless, the Black Scorpion was still on me. There's just something to it. But moving on, there are 3 current Veist Rapid Fire Scouts. Black Scorpion, which is obtained from the Gunsmith, the one that we're talking about today, the Frostmire's Hex, which is from the Iron Banner, and I would assume that Frostmire is going to make an appearance in a later season. And the last one is the Contingency Plan from Dead Orbit. Don't hold your breath on that one, it might not ever come back, and that's a shame. But the only one currently that can be randomly rolled is the Black Scorpion from the Gunsmith. These are 260 RPM, and you're always going to hit that RPM because it's rapid fire. You just hold down the button. For the stats, it has a range of 28, stability of 54, handling of 34, reload of 35, an aim assist stat of 56, and a recoil direction of 60. This is the lowest range scout in the entire game with that 28 range stat, not just out of the Veist frames, out of any scout rifle, 28 is the lowest. And you would think that that's horrible, but it's not as bad as you think because it's still coded as a scout. You still get a lot of range, and we'll talk about that range later on. The stability is the second best out of all scouts, not just the Veist ones, and it's right behind Oxygen. The recoil on it drifts up to the top right with the stat of 60, but we can correct that later on. It has 9 barrel options, and there's a lot of good ones to choose from. We have arrowhead break, chamber compensator, corkscrew rifling, extended barrel, fluted barrel, full bore, hammer forged rifling, polygonal rifling, and small bore. I put a lot of weight into polygonal for stability, extended barrel for range, and small bore. Arrowhead and chambered are going to be okay. It's going to help out that recoil direction a little bit. It has 8 mag options: accurized rounds, drop mag, appended, tack, extended, steady, alloy magazine, and flared magwell. My top 3 options are going to be accurized rounds, steady rounds, and actually alloy magazine. Alloy, the frame gives you a little reload bump when your mag is empty. This perk also gives you a reload bump when your mag is empty, so they kind of work together. Getting into the first perk node, we have 7 options: hip fire grip, grave robber, auto-loading holster, zen moment, moving target, triple tap, and high impact reserves. Not too good of a first node. Your top 3 are going to be zen moment, moving target, and triple tap. If you're going for more of a PvE build, grave robber, auto-loading holster, high impact reserves are going to work well for that. Don't sleep on moving target though, because when you're strafing and aiming down sights, this perk is active. It passively gives you +5 aim assist and +2 to the mobility stat. It's good. The second perk node has 7 as well: rangefinder, Genesis, opening shot, outlaw, rampage, snapshot, and dragonfly. All these are good options, even Genesis for PvE. My personal top 5 are dragonfly, rangefinder, opening shot, rampage, and outlaw. Really good options in the second node. But let's talk about range here in a controlled setting in PvP. The scope for Black Scorpion is a short zoom sight. I have a base Black Scorpion right here with the stock 28 range. It hits max damage 47 at 68 meters. On a PvP map, you're not going to see that too often. The one that I use is hammer forged rifling, steady rounds, zen moment, rangefinder, stability masterwork. We'll talk about this roll a little bit later on and why it's so good, but this range stat is at 32. We have rangefinder added. It hits at 76 meters at max damage of 47. And just like most weapons, on the fringe of damage fall off, you get bloom. Your reticle's right on your target and the shot magically misses. But 70 meters is pretty deep. It works fine. In PvE, we have a scout buff coming. When they do buffs, one of 2 things happen. Number 1, it's a pure blanket buff, meaning it's something like all scouts get buffed 50% more in PvE. Or number 2, it's going to be archetype specific. And when it's archetype specific, usually the lowest hitting damaged ones get the most benefit. And in a scout's case, it's going to be these Veist Rapid Fire, so we're just going to have to wait and see how that shakes out. Currently though, scouts aren't the best choice in PvE. We've talked about it a number of times on this channel. I use my Dragonfly Black Scorpion, and it's fun to use in PvE, and if the buff is good later on, I would add a Dragonfly spec to it. But these scouts, even though they say deeper ammo reserves, I am constantly searching for ammo, even in PvP, and we'll get into that in a moment. On the most basic enemy, the Thrall, it one-taps him, which is great. It feels good because you have Dragonfly, you're going enemy to enemy, it feels awesome, but then we have Acolytes, those take a couple shots, then we get into Majors, and at that point, forget about it. The damage output just isn't there, and hopefully it will be. But I do have fun with the scout in PvE, but fun is perception. In reality, it's kinda lacking. Always looking for ammo, enemies need extra shots, the list goes on. At the heart of it though, It could be good, especially with Dragonfly as we've been discussing. We're just gonna have to wait and see. But in PvP, these do 47 to the head and 28 to the body. It has a TTK of 0.93 seconds that requires 3 crits and 2 body. Let's hold up for a second. Since the Scout isn't too good of a PvE option, the only real fit currently would be in the Crucible. So this is gonna be the biggest part of the review, something to pay attention to and something I found out playing with it. You see that 0.93 TTK and think that that isn't too good. This is 3 crit, 2 body. It's a very relaxed TTK, only 60% headshots needed. The 390 pulses also have a 0.93 TTK like the Bygones. These require 5 crits and 2 body shots. They're relaxed as well. These are kind of a makeshift 390 in scout form. It duels at the same distances. Since you're durable at most ranges, you have a shorter zoom scope, you don't really have to worry about that 0.93 too much because these can duel well. They hit you fast, they flinch you, and other weapons that are popular like the 180 Trust has a 1 second TTK. And you see those because they're ease of use and the flinch applied. And that's kind of how these Veist Rapid frames are working. I'm on console and actually today cross save happened, so eventually we'll start throwing in some PC footage to compare, but on console these are a valid option. And I know that they are because it's from what I've been seeing and feeling when using it, they duel very, very well. I've had some monster games with it. And in those games, I was out dueling some of the meta weapons, and I'm not saying that these are meta at all or close to it, but I'm saying that they're slightly slept on and can do well. All you PC players though, sound off on how they're acting on PC. The role that I have is perfect for what we want to do with these in the Crucible. Rangefinder gives you a small zoom factor. It has high inherent stability, so we have steady rounds to add on to that with a stability masterwork. And then we have Zen Moment, causing damage increases its stability. Perfect role right here. Laser beam when you get into engagements. On my chest piece, I have on enhanced scout unflinching. It's all kind of coexisting and working together. Also, the base recoil direction goes up into the top right. I have a counterbalance mod on mine. It tightens that right up. That way I don't have any drift when I start landing my shots. It starts getting more stable. So for the Crucible, this is the type of thing you should be looking for. I did though start having the same issues I did in PvE. Very rarely are you starved for ammo in the Crucible on a primary weapon, but with the Black Scorpion, it happened more times than I've ever had it happen using any other weapon. That kind of goes with it. You're just holding down the trigger, constantly reloading, always getting off shots, it just runs out. In conclusion, for PvE, you want something like Dragonfly or Rampage, and I won't be too hard on Black Scorpion for the PvE section because I know that a buff's coming. I don't recommend it right now though. You won't see me going into a raid with this. I would lose my mind looking at its damage and trying to find ammo. I would just lose my mind. For the Crucible though, look into something similar like mine. Spec for stability, Zen Moment, Rangefinder, the counterbalance mod straightens all that out. Even with the 0.93, which is the same as a Bygones, it duels pretty well. But that's gonna be role dependent. It's relaxed, it's coded as a scout, so you're getting max damage up to around 70 meters. It's short zoom, you could even work on smaller maps like Endless Vale and Javelin, but since you are using a scout, you want to stick to its strength, you want to be in a lane, things like that. I've been pleasantly surprised with it. The Black Scorpion in reality has some pretty bland perks, especially in that first node. Hopefully a new Veist Rapid Fire frame comes out with Shadowkeep, and I do expect Frostmire to make an appearance in a later Iron Banner season. The review part is over, and if you'd like to stick around, I do have that 48 opponents defeated We Ran gameplay, and you can see me struggle for ammo in that one too. If you're new to the channel, remember to hit the subscribe button. If you are subscribed, thank you, and remember to like and comment if you guys and gals see fit. What do you think about the Black Scorpion and these Veist Rapid Fire Scouts? What roles do you have? Let's talk about it. Thank you for watching, and until the next one, I am CoolGuy.
Down. 2 for 1. Triple down. Until there's nothing left. You gained the lead. Time to fight. That shut them down. Enemy down. Double down. Together as one. I love it. Twilight Gap, where Lord Shax earned his name. None fell more guardians than you. 3 minutes. You're evenly matched. This is wonderful! It's not over. I could not ask for a better victory. Impressive, Guardian. You have an instinct for battle.